Okay, recording started. Editing a Google Spreadsheet. And just to review how I got there, I'm in the Schoology assignment. Down here at Cloud Spreadsheet Data Analysis. That's the assignment we're working on. And so we've opened that worksheet. And it takes us to here. Okay? Now, I'm going to make a copy. And it's kind of strange how this works. If I make my own copy, see, I'm logged into mine. I don't want to edit your assignment. That's what I have shared with you. That's what you're looking at. And see, I can see all of you that are working here with your cute little icons you have. You're all mostly anonymous to me, and they just add an anonymous icon. But once you're logged in, I'll see who's connected, but you're only able to view it. But just think of, if you have a spreadsheet of some data you want to share, you can share it and give anyone the link and send it in an email, and all your friends can be viewing your data where you are the only one that's in control and can change it. To make something changeable by me or for you to have your own, you go to File and click Make a Copy. And when you make a copy, it'll ask you for the name. I'll go ahead and put J Smart in there for this student. I'm pretending to be J Smart. You can go ahead and put your username there. And I don't need to copy comments or share it, so I'm just going to make a copy now. And that's the one I'm going to edit. So make a copy of the one I shared with you, and now you have your own copy. And see, no one's sharing, no one else is accessing this copy of the spreadsheet. Yes, Josh?
Okay, I sent an email navigator MS email. However, once I go back to Missouri River, I've been signed out, which confuses me. Yeah, I signed it in right there.
And you go to File. Oh, wait, go back here. You need to, yeah, it's in view only, so File, Make a Copy. Oh, Make a Copy is grayed out, because you're not, are you logged into your account yet?
I was in an MS email.
Okay, so go over here, click on that, go to Data.
This one?
The little grid there. The little grid there. Click on that, go to Google Drive. Click Drive. And go back to this guy now, and click on that link again.
Okay, should I add to the old one?
Sure, go ahead and close that. Go ahead and close that. And now go ahead, I understand. Now try File, Make a Copy. Okay.
Next you go ahead.
Yeah, if Make a Copy is grayed out, that's what it was for him. Close it, make sure you're logged into your MAS account. Then go back to the link, and it should come up with something you can make a copy of. We have an issue? Yeah, all right, you got to log into your MAS email. You have to be logged in. You have to go to MAS email, and you have to log in. And your password. Oh, change, yeah, use mine right now. So you're using the student account. You're not using your personal account. Make it personal account for you. I don't know, we'll reset it for you. Well, you can use student for now. You're sharing all your files with anyone else with the student. They can erase all your files with student. So yeah, you remember your password there. And if it asks you to remember passwords, don't always have to save your passwords. Don't have to save your passwords. You log in. Now go back to Schoology and click on that link. Now it should bring you here. Now you should be able to file. There we go. Now you're in your account. There you go. So you have your own copy, and in the name of it, remember in the names of anything in Google Spreadsheets, to name your file, if you want to give it a different name, just click up there in the name, and you can edit the name very easily. So that's the original. I'm going to close that so I don't accidentally change the one I've shared with you. This is my personal copy, and see how I have the name J Smart in there. I'm pretending to be J Smart. Now, I could have done this for you, But I wanted you to learn how to do this. Remember, I've copy pasted from that river data, but this was for the Mississippi River. I'm not making you go through that, go find the map and click on the thing. You can get all that data, and there's tons more data out there. But just like we did in Excel, we need to split this column into separate columns so we can do some graphing. Well, how do we do that? Let's see, well, first of all, I need to select the data. So just like in Excel, I can click on the column heading, and that selects all those numbers in that column. And let's look under data. Is there something there for us? Let's see. Oh, look, way at the bottom. Split text into columns. Let's see what happens. Look at that. It didn't even ask me any questions about, hey, how do I separate them? It just figured it out for me. Now, I'm not sure what these top numbers mean, but I do see dates and some number here, and I think, let's see, date, time, not that, apparently that's maybe the gauge number that is giving them. I'm assuming this is in feet. Not sure what these numbers are, but it looks like we have some data from 2021, 11/11. If I slide down to the bottom, all the way to 2022, 11/11. Okay, so we have very similar river data like we had in Excel. So just like we can use Google Spreadsheet, Excel, let's see how much this is like Excel and Google Spreadsheets. One of the first things I can do is share it. And let's see, in the assignment, let's check the assignment. I believe in the assignment, you need to share this Google Sheet with me. So let's get that figured out first, because not a lot of people, some people got some points knocked off on their assignment because they forgot to share a document with me. They gave me the link, but I couldn't get to it. So let's do the sharing part first before we forget about it. I can come over here to share, and I can, instead of restricted, I can click anyone with their link and then copy the link, and that link is what I'm going to submit to Schoology. So copy that link, and that's all the link that's the only thing you need to send to me in Schoology. And let's do some work here. Well, let's do some work, and then we'll put that link in Schoology. So we have data, and it looks like this is same number all the time, so that's not terribly meaningful. Here's the date. That would make a good horizontal labels. And then we have this is the numbers we'd like to graph. And if we slide down through the numbers, we see it went from 10, 9, 6. Oh, getting a little deeper. Oh, so it looks like the deepest it's got was maybe about 14, 17, around May. Yeah, that's a lot like that Mississippi data. But this is boring to look through numbers. Let's make a nice fancy graph. Let's see what let's see. It looks like since it's not the same data, let's see what data is needed to create a graph. So ignore this. I think we're in different columns for our numbers. Let's just check. It looks like column C and column E contain the horizontal axis and the data to graph. But I don't think we really need these first two columns, or first two rows. Let's see, are they useful at all? Well, let's leave them there. Let's drag or click there and then go all the way to the bottom. And let's try the control click, or actually shift click. And then now can we go back to the top and select this other column? Let's try control click. Yeah, that's working. And I guess we could slide all the way to the bottom. Oh, that's a long slide. Let's see if I can drag those down. And let's try control shift click here. Oh, look at that, it did what I wanted. I don't have to drag forever. Control click, or it lets me select two columns that are not connected. Let me do that again just for practice. I'm going to click, control click, and now let's see if I can go all the way to the bottom. Let's try control shift click. and Control Shift click. Oh, that didn't do it. Let's try undo that. Looks like I have to do the column at a time. Oh, I actually undid the splitting. Let me try that again. Click, Shift click. Oh, click. Try it again. Click, and then Shift click, and then Control click. Oops, messed up. Yeah, the clicking, you gotta get that clicking figured out. So, top one, I'm going to click, slide down to the bottom, Shift click on that same column at the bottom.
The last one.
Yep. And now I can Control click on the number, and then slide back to the top, and Shift Control click. There we go. Two columns that are not connected that are very, very wide.
And then Control.
Yeah. All right, try this again. You first click on the very first one, and now go to the bottom and Shift click on that column. Shift click on that. Oh no, just click. Now that you selected somewhere else, you have to go back to the top and start all over. Click once, and now slide to the bottom, and Shift click there. There we go. Now back to the top. Yeah. Back to the top. Control click. And then slide to the bottom. And Control Shift click. Both Control and Shift and click.
Like, at the same time?
These two. Then Control and Shift. Both of them. And now click. Hold them down. And Shift click now. And now Control click on the left column. Because you lost your selection of the left column. You gotta be careful where you click. Now Control click there. Control click. And now go to the bottom. And Control Shift at the same time and click. Control Shift. There we go. Don't click anywhere else. Alright, got that. Now we have, this is gonna be horizontal data. Yep.
I'm having trouble with that. So
Okay.
don't worry.
Try doing the insert chart and see if it gives you the choice of a line chart. Go to the bottom and try a shift. Click. Okay, got that. That's easy. And now go back to the top. Well, that's because you're clicking on the cell instead of the slider. You weren't far enough. Gotta go far. That old clicking. All the way to the bottom. Shift click. Yeah, there you go. Grab the slider.
See? Slide with it. It's the left.
Is it the mouse? Looks like a bug in the Mac version. So if I select that, do it then. Weird. There's one more thing I can do that might make this easier. Shift click. Slider, definitely not.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe you just have to come to the slider from the left. Doesn't make any sense. And then Command click or Control. I think Control is still the same on Google Spreadsheets. Looks like it. Let me show you a slightly easier way. You have to click on the first one. You escape. And I don't know why it brings up the dialog. You don't want that one. You want the number for date, just the date. Slide down and then shift click. Escape. And control click. I gotta do it over. Let me show you a little trick that will, the clicking part, it's kind of annoyingly difficult, isn't it? Let's make it easier. Watch what I can do to make that whole selecting of two very tall columns so much easier. I'm going to go to, I'll just go down to like row 4, select that row 4, and let's see if I can do this right. View, I'm going to freeze up to row 4. Freezing rows is very useful in large spreadsheets, and let me show you why. I can freeze to row 4, and now in this slider, I can go all the way to the bottom of the table, and watch now. I can select and drag. Oh, it won't let me. I thought it would jump over the frozen. I can select and then just shift select, control select, shift control select, without having to go grab that slider up and down all that time. So freezing a row, especially when you have a heading row at the top of a very long 34,000 numbers, that lets you select those two columns a lot easier. So here's how I did that again. I can view, I can unfreeze, show, or unfreeze. Let's see, I guess I have to, there, view, show, or freeze. Oh, freeze, there, no, I can say stop stop freezing. Now I can say, wait a minute, I want to slide all the way to the bottom and not lose these two rows. So I select row 4, view, freeze, up to row 4. Freezing a row is very handy when I have such a large amount of data. Come down to the bottom now. Now I can click, shift click, control click, shift control click, without having to go slide up and down and mess with all that. So I can jump all those 30,000 lines of sliding up and down. Now I want to graph this data, and my first insert a chart didn't come out right, but I think we can fix it. So are you ready now? Got the data selected. Yep. Snap over there. Freezing the rows, especially when you have that much data, made it a lot easier to do all the selecting. Okay. Now go to select, grab your slider, go all the way to the bottom of the data. And now you can select the dates. You got the wrong number selected. You want to select the dates. Top date. Row 2 date. No. Slide to the bottom. Grab your slider. To the bottom. Top date. That's the top. That's the second one. You want to select the first one. And now control or shift select on that one. See how the whole column is selected now? Now control select on the 10. Control select on that one. Control select. And shift control select on that. Hold shift and control together and look at that.
Wait. Wow. The reason I'm just doing that when I do control select. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and now shift select. Just shift. And now control select on the 10. Don't do any more sliding. Control select on the 10. Control select, not a shift, just control select. And now shift control select on that very line. There we go. We'll see. It's supposed to look better than that, but that's how we can perhaps modify our settings to get our graph to come out right. I think for you it might be shift command select. These Macs troubles. No. right now you just want to control select on the 10. Either one, and then we're going to do a shift control select on the left. So control select, and does command select do better? Yeah, go up. So it's behaving different. That now when there's lots of numbers like that, which you often will come across in spreadsheets, sometimes knowing how to freeze rows will be such a nice thing. And I don't think they show you that in Excel, except towards the end of one chapter, that we kind of glossed over. Now let's try to get some decent graph. I should get a decent graph if I go to Insert. Now, it looks like I don't have much of a dialog. Let's just try Insert Chart and see what I get, and see if we can fix it if it's an ugly looking chart. Mine, for some reason, maybe the last chart I made was a column chart. So I have the chart selected. I can come over here. Let's see, I'm going to unfreeze the rows so I can view my whole chart here. Actually, it looks like it's putting that chart way at the bottom of my data. I'm going to unfreeze that row. Let's see. I guess I'll just change the chart type. Where did it go? Where did my chart go? It disappeared. It's probably hiding behind these hidden rows somewhere.
Yeah,
Let me do that again. Click, shift click, control click, shift control click, and insert chart. Change it from a column chart. There I see it. There I see it. Somehow put it down at line 334, 841. Let's change it from a column chart to a line chart. And it's a horrible looking chart. It looks to me like it's trying to graph both the date and in column C and the data in column E. And that's not what I wanted. I want the data range that is being graphed to be what's in column E. So let's see if I can remove column C numbers. And my x-axis is what the column C numbers are. So I'm going to remove, my C series. I'm going to remove the C series. Let's see if I can remove that from my series. There we go. Now I have the Missouri River, and it's way down there. I'm going to, let's see, can I move this to a different sheet just so I can work on it? Let's try move to own sheet. There we go. I'm going to move that graph to its own sheet. Literally 3 dots, move to own sheet. Now I can mess around a little bit with my chart here. And let's edit the charts. There's where I can edit the data going into that chart.
every time I get the graph, yes.
Oh, that's exactly what I had.
It's not covered by browser. It's not the shit.
Oh, don't worry about that. I think it created the chart, and all you need to do is now edit our chart. Yeah, so just click on that and click edit. Yeah, go slow. There we go. Click on the 3, edit chart, and then that should pop up. It's just slow, so there we go. So change that from column chart to line chart. And then go down below, and on the series, remove the C series. Click on the 3 dots, remove. And there, now we have the graph. Right click on this and let's move it to its own sheet. Move it to own sheet. You were Now we don't have it sitting way down there at the bottom. And then when you get it to the own sheet, open the editor again, because we want to know how to deal with charts in Google Sheets. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time in the managing data and entering cells and stuff. That's all stuff we've done in Excel, and in Google Sheets it's very similar. But we can mess with that a little bit. But first we want to see how we can adjust this chart of 30,000 numbers and make it meaningful. Right now I don't have a title or an x-axis. So let's,
Which kind of chart did you choose?
line chart. I just chose line chart.
Because I picked a line chart, but it doesn't look like that at all.
We need to remove some data too. So remember, in the line chart, we removed everything but the E in the series. Go down to series and make sure you don't have the C column there anymore. The C column was useful data, but we don't want it to be graphed. We want it to be an indicator on our x-axis. So let's choose, on our x-axis, this is where we could choose those dates. And let's see if it'll let us select the data range, or, it sure would be nice if I could just type in the data range. I know it's C3 to C34, 843. Let's see if it lets me type that in. Oh, look at that. I know it's in column C, so I'm just going to type in sheet 1, exclamation point, because that's just how I see they're referring to a sheet address. And I'm going to type in C3 colon C34 843. This saves me from doing all that control clicking and sliding and shift clicking. I can just tell it, this is where the data comes from. This is where typing in it is a lot easier than dragging around on that other chart. And it doesn't like something about this.
Capitalize.
Oh, I have to capitalize the C in order for it to be happy?
That's why it said okay to
silly.
green.
Isn't that silly? I have to make
Yeah.
a capital C. There. Oh.
And also the sheet.
Oh, the sheet has to have a capital S.
Yep.
Oh, no kidding.
That's
Oh,
why
it's
it
so
says that.
fussy. It's case sensitive. Now watch what happens when I add that series for my x-axis. Let's see what happens. Look at that. Now I have dates along the bottom. Not super fancy, but that allowed me to control what is being displayed for my x-axis.
C3.
So remember how I did that? I clicked add x-axis, click the little diagram. Oh, it remembers my previous, but suppose it didn't remember my previous. I click here and type in with the proper capitalization, capital S, sheet 1, exclamation point, C3.
Wait, where'd you go again? What's your name now?
Add x-axis. Do you see that?
Right, another one?
Click on add x-axis. Click on the little grid there. Select data range. See that? Select data range.
Is that the one we just did?
I'm doing that. You said how'd they do that again? That's how I got there. Then this pops up. You got that far?
Yeah, I got all that.
Okay. And then sheet 1, exclamation point, capital C3, colon, and then I see that that's the line that goes to C34 843. And I got those numbers because that's where I had selected the data. So I realized I didn't have to go back through and select through that C3 and have all that trouble selecting two columns. All it cares about is what data it's going to graph. Then I can come back and tell it, oh, this is my x-axis. Remember back in Excel, it figured out when you gave it two columns to make one of them your x-axis. It looks like Google Sheets didn't figure it out. It says, oh, I'll graph those as though they were both data to graph on the chart. Now I click OK, and I have my horizontal axis, and I believe if I hover over a piece of data on the chart, it will show me that date and how high the river was. So I can browse right up to here and just hover over that, and I see that June 1st, 20-foot max of the Missouri River, and I believe it's St. Louis. Now that was just sample data because I didn't want to graph disease data. that was a little more interesting. Yep.
I added it, but it doesn't add the dates.
Let's take a look.
This is the date.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Did it match your numbers?
Oh.
Yeah, you're doing it right. Okay.
Oh.
Now let's remove.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you have two there? Why don't you remove one of those? And you didn't put it in the x-axis. X-axis is where you want to put the sheet C. There. Now, see, that was added there for the x-axis, and that's there for the series. The series is what Google Spreadsheets calls the data that it's going to graph. Now, just to learn a little bit more about charts and graphs and Google Sheets, let's go up here. Let's see, where do we add the title? Where's our titles? Because maybe it's under customize. I thought it was at the top. Let's see what we have under customize. There we go. We can choose our chart. There we go. Let's choose our chart and axis titles. Now, so our chart title, let's call this Missouri River Data 2021 to 2022. River gauge data, I guess. River gauge data. Boy, kind of slow response here. River gauge data. And see how by tapping here, it immediately shows up here. I can't, let's see, I don't think I can select on that like we can do in Excel and change it. I have to go through the customize dialog in order to apply a title. And let's go ahead and under chart title, let's see, what else could we add? Chart and axis titles. Let's choose what else? Oh look, I can choose a horizontal axis title. Let's click on that and enter the horizontal axis title, and that would be date. And there now the horizontal axis shows up there. I can't do the rotating of the text, but that doesn't make a big deal for me. And let's give it also a vertical axis title. And I'll call that river gauge height. I believe it's in feet. Now how about that? Well, actually, it does rotate the text for me, so I can type a long text. River gauge height in parentheses feet. And as I type, you then see the horizontal axis showing up there. So slightly different than how Excel works, but this is out in the cloud. I can share it with all my friends so easily. I don't have to worry about uploading to my OneDrive, and I haven't been terribly happy with how OneDrive behaves. It's something that locks up on me sometimes.
I can't type
It's a slow response for you?
No, it's just like
I couldn't find a title, horizontal or vertical.
So, I gave it a title, a horizontal axis, and a vertical. I didn't worry about a chart subtitle.
Okay,
And see, as you choose each one, it shows you what your title is. It's blank unless you add something there.
Okay, so horizontal is
So I give it a choose horizontal and then type in the horizontal, which I just say type date.
the vertical
You
one.
could call it measurement, and then on the vertical one I put in river gauge height,
Okay.
parentheses feet. And then then you can always come back to the title. So you're dealing with this dialogue instead of pointing and clicking. To me, it would have. You'd think Google at some point would just say, "Hey, why don't I just click on that and allow the date, allow you to change that?" But they decide to give you this dialogue over here instead. Now look at all the things you can do under customize. I can shrink that down. Yeah.
It wasn't letting me type it at all.
I don't even have the option to.
The option to do what?
The vertical axis.
Didn't give you a choice of axis, or when you choose it, it doesn't let you type?
There's horizontal axis and vertical axis title, but no titles for them.
No title text for you to. You don't see that?
Nope.
Weird. You're on a Mac?
I have label font size.
All right.
Text color, but no
Now,
text type.
the weird thing about this is if you're in the browser, it shouldn't matter whether you're on a Mac or a PC.
Yeah, I'm not in the browser.
And what browser? Oh, we're using Safari. It could be a possibility. So horizontal axis, you don't get a.
That's the text formatting stuff.
Right, but go back to the top. Chart and axis titles. Change that to horizontal axis. And that's where you type, right there. Okay.
Can you say look here?
No, that would be date. It'll show up down here once you type it. And I'm wondering if you're getting the same thing. No, that's the customizing the vertical axis. Go back to the top. Back to the top. Yep, no, sorry. Chart and axis titles. Change this to horizontal axis. Now type in there date. Yeah, it's not that as user friendly in some ways. Yeah, and then change vertical axis, and now type in gauge height in feet, and it'll show up over here once you see how it's showing up there now. That's becoming your axis type.
Oh, yeah.
So having experience with both Google Sheets and Excel spreadsheets, again, will make you a better employee. You're gonna go somewhere working and say, oh, you know Excel good. You know, we're using the cloud more and we're using Google Spreadsheets. You can say, okay, I've done that. It's not as user-friendly, but I can learn it. I've seen it. That's the kind of thing people want of workers, is having experience. You never know whether they're going to be using the cloud or using Excel. I'm kind of the cloud guy just because I don't have to worry about buying Excel, downloading it, updating it, and then I go to a different PC and I can't get to my file. Oh, it's over on that computer. When you're up on Google Sheets, all you have to do is log in and you have all your data. Of course, you want to back up that data too. Yeah.
Horizontal, it's not popping up chart.
You're in the wrong place. Yeah, change. Wait. That's not where you want to go. You want to change this.
Oh.
Horizontal. Down there, you're customizing horizontal axis before. And again, that's Google not quite making it user friendly enough. They confuse us. They confuse us by saying when I customize down here, you're not entering the horizontal axis, you're customizing the horizontal axis. You'd think here should be the title. No, this is only the type and color of the text. Up here is what the text is going to say by changing that. And I'd say that's not as intuitive as it should be, but that's just what you get as you start using other people's software. You'd think Google would have thought through that a bit more, or maybe said instead of just calling this horizontal axis, it would say horizontal axis style. This is a better name for this, because you're customizing the whole style of it. This is easy to think, oh, that's the text for it as well. No, the text for it is up here. Changing that lets you access what the text is going to say. Okay, now let's make sure in Schoology, here's all you got to do in Schoology to submit your homework. All you got to do, and I'm going to log in as Mr. J Smart. All you need to do in the assignment here is down in the assignment, down there under the Excel, Google Spreadsheets, submit the assignment. To submit the assignment, you need to give me that link under the Create tab. And what's the link? Well, let's go get that link again, back in my Google Spreadsheet. Over here.
Put a share, copy link.
Over here, here's my share. Yeah, we've got a share. Make sure it's shared to anyone with a link. Make this, better not be restricted or not set to be managed by Alcott. Anyone with a link, copy the link, done. Back over to this and link to my spreadsheet. Paste it and select it and turn it into a link by using insert content link. What? Oh, there. That's right. There's a link. I select it again. I forgot. There we go. Insert link, and then paste the URL. And if you want to have it open in new tab, that's fine. Doesn't matter. And save changes. Now, it'll become an active link in the homework, and somebody clicks on it, they can verify you did your work, and then submit. And just to check your submission, you can always click on that and see what your instructor will see, and that's what they'll see. And if you click on that, it takes you to your spreadsheet, and chart page shows you your graph you did. And see how this is a user that does not have permissions except to view it. So, and he's not logged in, so he can't even make a copy because he's not logged into the JSmart. But he can view the data. So anyone can view your data. You can have some cool stuff out there analyzing the stock market. Well, I'm hoping one of you one day will learn to do this, and you'll make big money in the stock market and come back and make a huge donation to Amaze.
So you open name, put a new tab.
Will be named after me.
Yeah, we'll name a building after you.
Okay, so what about the link in?
We'll name the campus after you.
Oh, that dude better.
The new gym, the new soccer field. Josh, do you need a question? Once you have that link submitted, you can
So I
go.
click on the new tab and.
Yes.
That's where the share link is. So did you share it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you just paste it again there. To there. Paste it again. And then what that means is, go ahead and save. Now it also means I can click on that and it'll take me there, rather than have to copy paste it into my app. And you're good? Alright. Little exploring into Google Sheets. They are different, so we're not going to spend a ton of time on them, but you've done something. They build your skills in those cloud spreadsheets.
Yeah, oh, me. Oh, me.